Take off your pants, she hisses, voice cutting through the smoky darkness like a blade. Azure skin glistens in the flickering emergency lights, her alien eyes fixed on me with an intensity that makes my breath catch. The translator device crackles at my side, half sparking, half dead, but it's still working enough to spit out that bizarre phrase. She's leaning close, practically nose to nose with me. Her lips are parted in what I can only assume is some combination of aggression and intrigue. I press a hand against her shoulder to keep her from closing in further, but the instant my palm touches her smooth, strangely soft skin, she releases a low sound that vibrates through my ribs. What did you just say? I manage, voice rasping from adrenaline and confusion. My entire makeshift lab is half collapsed from the crash, monitors flickering with static. A swirl of dust and smoke clogs my throat. I tried to keep my composure, but I'm pinned between a twisted metal console and the intense stare of this creature. She's definitely female. Humanoid, yes, but the ridges along her scalp glow faintly, matching the faint luminescence that shifts across her shoulders and arms. She stares at my mouth, then repeats in a halting, half-synthetic voice. Take off your pants. That's not what I taught you. I stammer. I try to push her back again. She's stronger than she looks. There's a weird tension in my chest, like an electric current is coursing between us, magnified by the failing electronics around us. I'm Cade, ex-military linguist, or I was before my ship got shot out of orbit and crashed on this wasteland. I was trying to rewire the translator to see if I could glean anything about this newly discovered species. I'd found her in stasis when I rummaged through the wreckage of an alien craft that had collided with mine. I guess I was the only one left from my side. She seemed the only one left from hers. I dragged her unconscious form into my survival pod, rigged up a translator, and now, her first words to me are an apparent demand for me to strip. This device must be malfunctioning, I say, glancing down at the small, battered translator console strapped to my belt. That's not the phrase I input. I swear I was just teaching you, oh damn it, I was teaching you a greeting, some basic English to see how your physiology processes sound. It's gotta be picking up bits of half-corrupted data from my old field dictionary. She's tilting her head, eyes narrowed. Her voice resonates strangely, as if there's a subharmonic note embedded in it that vibrates the air around us. Take off your pants. Each syllable sounds like she's tasting them for the first time. She doesn't sound confused. She sounds like she's giving me a direct command. No, I snap, though my voice is shaky. I shove her back more firmly, finally breaking her hold. No, that's not happening. Let's just calm down. Sit. I point to a chunk of twisted metal that might serve as a seat. She stands there, tall, shimmering with that alien glow. Her eyes flick from me to the translator device, then back again. She opens her mouth, closes it, then tries something else in her own language, a rapid string of clicks and throaty warbles that sends a prickle along my spine. The translator picks up fragments. Wrong. Words. You taught me. Bond. Demand? Bond demand? I echo, my heart thudding. I realize with a jolt that maybe she's interpreting the words I taught her in some bizarre cultural context. I don't even know how her species handles language. For all I know, these people greet each other with a statement that to humans would sound like a sexual proposition. Wait, are you telling me that you think I taught you a mating phrase? She doesn't confirm or deny. Instead, she raises a hand, and I notice her nails are slightly pointed. She places that hand on my chest, eyes blazing with some unreadable intensity. My pulse quickens. I smell something sweet and sharp in the air, maybe her body chemistry reacting. Then the translator crackles again. Take off your pants. I scramble away from her, practically stumbling over a loose coil of wire. She's panting softly, but it doesn't look like exhaustion, it looks like excitement. Or maybe frustration. The glow along her ridges is intensifying. The lab's power is flickering. I can hear alarms from somewhere deeper in the wreckage, reminding me that I've got to figure out how to seal off the radiation leak, or we'll both be cooked. I grit my teeth. Look, I say, I don't know if you can understand me, but that phrase is not a typical greeting, and it sure as hell isn't something I want you repeating. Let me fix the translator so we can actually communicate. She cocks her head. Another string of clicks. The device interprets. You gave words to me. You command. I demand. Return. My face is burning. She seems to think I intentionally taught her these words. Maybe in her culture, if you teach someone a phrase, it's a vow, a bond, a sign of ownership, or a request for submission. My mind is reeling. She steps closer, and I can't help but notice how her azure skin ripples with pulses of faint light whenever she's near me. A rush of adrenaline hits me, and despite my better judgment, there's an undeniable attraction under the fear. It's that primal surge you get when confronted with something both dangerous and mesmerizing. I didn't mean to teach you that, I mutter, half to myself. It was an error. A glitch. She's leaning in, so close that I can smell the subtle, sweet tang that emanates from her. I can't help it. I'm responding on a visceral level, and I hate myself for it. Back off. We have bigger problems than your weird interest in my pants. She makes a soft hiss, steps back, and I exhale in relief. I glance at the half-crushed console. If I can just get the power stabilized, I might fix the translator. But the ship is dying around us, sparks, acrid smoke, twisted beams. Every so often, the ground shakes with aftershocks of the crash. The protective shell of my escape pod is probably compromised, so we're losing oxygen. I rummage through the debris, find a small generator I'd salvaged. I connect it to the translator panel. She's watching me with an intense curiosity, like she's never seen someone work with tools before. Or maybe she's just studying the shape of my arms, the slope of my shoulders. The attention feels borderline predatory. I push wires together, override the system, and the panel hums to life. I speak carefully into the mic, hoping the software picks it up. Hello? My name is Cade. I do not want you to remove my clothing. I want to help you survive. Do you understand? She leans forward, eyes bright. The translator, still glitchy, spits out a mix of her language and English. Cade. Survival. I want. Bond. I sigh. That's not exactly what I said. I tap more commands, trying to refine the calibration. She steps closer, until her breath brushes my cheek. She leans in to speak directly into the translator's input mic. I smell that sweet, sharp scent again, and my mind goes blank for a second. Her voice resonates. The device interprets. Your words are my words. You gave them. You owe me. Show me. Show you what? I ask, exasperated. I don't owe you anything. I saved your life. You were in stasis. Your ship crashed into mine. This is a misunderstanding. She doesn't back away. Instead, she trails a fingertip along the edge of the translator console. My breath hitches. Then she says, haltingly in English, Take off your pants. I slam my hand down on the console in frustration. Damn it, no! That's not the correct phrase for anything. Let's just focus on getting out of here before the radiation kills us. She doesn't budge. Fine, I growl. You want to help me? We need to find a path out of this lab, up through the corridor, and into open air. I can't stay down here messing with you. The hull is compromised. I grab a battered helmet and motion for her to follow me. She glances at the device, at me, and I realize I'm still wearing the standard Terran flight pants, charcoal gray, scuffed with cargo pockets. She lowers her gaze as if she's fixated on them. Then, with a sudden movement, she scoops up a piece of scrap metal and holds it out like a weapon, as if daring me to challenge her. Her eyes are wide, the glow intensifying across her scalp ridges. I raise my hands in surrender. I'm not your enemy. This is not how we greet each other. Please, can you at least trust me enough to get out of here alive? Her lips peel back in a half snarl. Then, with an abrupt motion, she tosses the scrap aside. She steps in front of me, one fluid movement that suggests she's used to leading. She gestures for me to follow, as if she's the one taking control. Fine, I think. I don't care who leads, as long as we can get out. I see her move deeper into the corridor. Debris crackles underfoot. Sparks shower from overhead. We pass a shattered window that once separated this lab from the outside environment. Through the crack, I can see that it's nearly dusk on the surface. The atmosphere here is thin, but not unbreathable, at least not yet. The radiation, however, is a problem. I sense that we have limited time. We have to get away from the crash site or find a safe zone. She looks back at me, her silver eyes scanning my face. Then she gestures for me to hurry. I hustle behind her, feeling the press of time. My side is bruised, my arms are scratched, but the adrenaline dulls the pain. She leads me down a twisted hallway, stepping deftly over collapsed beams. I realize she's surprisingly agile, moving with a grace that defies the destruction around us. I can't stop glancing at her. She's entirely naked except for some alien banding around her forearms, like some sort of natural armor or maybe leftover stasis gear. Her body is lean, strong, and every muscle ripples with an otherworldly shimmer. It's distracting as hell. And the translator device on my belt occasionally picks up faint clicks from her, but it doesn't interpret them. They must be subvocal or just random signals. At the corridor's end, a half-block door stands in our way. I gesture to it. We need to open that. It leads outside. I move to the control panel, but it's fried. She studies the door, then slams her fist against the seam. It doesn't budge. She looks at me expectantly. I dig out a pry bar from my belt pouch, wedge it into the crack. We both put our weight into it. For a moment, it doesn't give. Then it screeches open a few inches, letting in a gust of cold evening air that smells of ash and alien dust. We force it wider, and she slips through first. I follow, staggering a bit when the ground outside dips unexpectedly. The landscape is bleak, the remains of two ships scattered across a barren plateau, twisted metal rising like jagged teeth. A faint, swirling sky overhead, tinted green from the local star's atmosphere. My pod is about 50 meters away, half buried. Smoke drifts from several holes. Great. My main source of supplies is in tatters. She steps away from the door, scanning the horizon. Her ridges pulse, and I see her nostrils flare. She must be sampling the air. I'm about to speak when the translator picks up a faint beep, some kind of inbound signal. It's scrambled. Could be from her ship, or maybe from a rescue party. My mind races, rescue for me or for her? She whips around to face me, stepping close again. The translator crackles. We must move. Finally, a phrase that makes sense. Agreed, I say. I think the radiation will spread from the crash site. We need higher ground, maybe those hills over there. I point to a ridge in the distance. She looks that way, then nods, a curiously human gesture. She starts moving, and I keep pace. As we walk, the wind picks up. It's biting cold, and I see her shiver. I shrug out of my jacket, holding it out to her. She eyes me warily, as if suspecting a trick. Then she takes it, slipping her arms in. The jacket is too big, hanging loosely around her slender frame. She sniffs at it, probably noticing my scent. She says something in her language. The translator tries. Warm. Strange. I nod. It'll help. Keep it. We reach the foot of the hills. The terrain is rocky, jagged. My boots slip on loose gravel, and I notice she climbs more easily, her bare feet finding purchase. Every so often, she glances back at me. Her expression is guarded, but there's a flicker of curiosity there. My mind is still spinning about what happened in the lab. The moment she woke, the first words out of her mouth. Take off your pants. How the hell did that get into the translator's lexicon as a default phrase? Maybe my personal dictionary had that phrase stored somewhere, left over from a drunken night or some private jokes. But for it to be the first phrase she latched onto? It's either cosmic irony or a glitch from my neural interface. And to her, it might have some huge cultural significance. I scramble up a ledge and find a small plateau. It's partially shielded from the wind by a tall boulder. She follows, scanning the horizon again. The dust storm in the distance is creeping closer. We don't have much time before it hits. We'll camp here, I say. At least for tonight. Then we figure out how to fix the translator or find better shelter. She crouches down, touching the rocky ground with her palm. Her eyes drift shut. For a moment, she's perfectly still, almost statuesque. Then she stands, turning to me. The translator catches a snippet of her voice. Air. Thin. Danger. Move soon. I nod. We'll have to figure something out. My suit can help me survive for a bit. I'm not sure how your physiology works. Are you okay breathing this? She tilts her head, then gestures at the device on my belt. I realize she wants me to talk so she can interpret. Yes, I say clearly. I can breathe this. But it's not good for me. Radiation. Poison in the air. The translator coughs out. Radiation. Poison. She frowns, the ridges on her head flattening. She taps her chest, a questioning look in her eyes. Yes, I say again. Bad for you, too. She exhales sharply, then says something too quick for the translator. It picks up a piece. No time. They come. My heart skips. Who's coming? I ask, but she just shakes her head, scanning the horizon again. She must sense something I don't. Or maybe she's referencing a beacon or a signal from her people. Could they be after her? We settle into an uneasy truce. I gather what supplies I can from my belt pouches, emergency rations, a small water canister, a handheld flashlight. She watches my every move. I can feel her gaze lingering on my hands, then drifting to my waist. It's unsettling. I clear my throat. Don't even think about it. I mutter, more to myself than to her. She arches a brow, not understanding the words but catching the tone. We wait as night falls. The air grows colder. The dust storm looms. I have no tent, no real shelter, just a small thermal blanket. I consider offering it to her, but she still wears my jacket, and I'm starting to shake. She notices, unzips the jacket, and extends it back toward me. I refuse it. You keep it, I say. I'll be fine. She hesitates, then drapes the jacket over my shoulders. Her closeness makes me tense. My pulse jumps again. Her eyes lock onto mine, and she says, in that halting English, "You are cold." "I'll manage," I say softly. The translator repeats my words, and she lifts her chin, as if making a decision. She steps behind me, pressing herself against my back, sharing body heat. I stiffen, unsure if this is normal for her or if she's crossing a line. But the warmth is too good to refuse. My entire body is trembling from the chill, and she feels almost feverish. The glow from her ridges is faint but steady, lighting the night around us with a soft, eerie sheen. We stay like that for a few minutes, the wind howling around the boulder. Then she shifts, sliding around to face me. Her expression is unreadable. She lifts a hand to brush my cheek, and I flinch. She pauses, searching my eyes. The translator tries to parse her murmur. "Fear. Why?" "I keep you warm." I let out a breath. "Because this is unexpected." The device picks up. "Unexpected. Strange." She nods as if to say yes, it's strange for her too. Then her gaze drops to my waist again. I tense, but she doesn't say those dreaded words. Instead, she says something that the translator interprets as, "Teach me more." I try to calm my racing heart. "All right," I say. "We'll start with something simple. This is my hand." I lift my hand. "Hand?" She tilts her head, then repeats softly. "Hand? She takes my hand in hers, turning it over, examining it. The translator tries to fill in. Hand? Cade. She seems to be connecting the concept to me. Then she lifts her own hand. Veari, she says. That's the first time I hear her name. It's not translated, it's just a proper noun. I smiled despite myself. Veari, I echo. So that's what I call you? She points to herself. Veari, she confirms. Then she touches my chest. Cade. I nod. Yes. I'm Cade. You're Veari. Good. She smiles, at least I think that's a smile. It's a bit predatory, but I can see some softness in it. We continue like that, pointing at objects around us, naming them. She repeats the words in that strange accent. We might have an entire dictionary's worth of cultural chasms between us, but at least we can share a few basics now. When I show her my water canister, she tries to say, water. She drinks, then smiles again. It's a small, hopeful moment in the middle of this wrecked planet. But every time I think we're making progress, the memory of her first phrase jolts me. She said it so insistently, so confidently. Take off your pants. The translator must have fed her that line from some corrupted data file. But does she still believe it's some sort of vital command? The wind howls, and we both huddle closer. Her body is so close that I can feel her heart, or hearts, thudding in her chest. My own heart responds in kind, pounding with an undeniable attraction that I try to shove aside. This is not the time or place. Yet the tension is there, crackling between us like static. I can see her eyes flick to my mouth whenever I speak. My lips feel dry, and I lick them unconsciously. She inhales sharply. I wonder if she can smell my desire or sense it somehow. The translator crackles, picking up her faint murmur. Heat. You feel heat? I grimace. I'm just a little too warm from the body contact. She frowns. The translator interprets her next words as, warm is good. Or do you fear bond? I let out a shaky breath. I'm not sure what bond means in your culture, but I'm guessing it's not something we can just slip into by accident. She doesn't respond, just stares, the glow of her ridges reflecting in her silver eyes. We spend the night in tense silence, or as silent as it can be with the storm raging. I doze off once or twice, leaning against the boulder. Each time I jolt awake, she's there, still pressed to my side, scanning the darkness as if keeping watch. It's oddly comforting, despite the strangeness of the situation. When morning comes, though it's hard to call it morning in the dim, cloud-choked sky, she stands and stretches, cat-like. Her skin has that same radiant sheen. She looks down at me, then says something in her own language. The translator picks up. We move. Danger near. I rub my eyes. Fine. Let's see if we can find a vantage point, or maybe a path to get away from the radiation. We climb higher, the rocky slopes tearing at my boots. She's barefoot, but she seems unbothered. Occasionally she slips a hand under my elbow to steady me, as if she can sense when I'm about to stumble. My pride bristles, but I swallow it. We top a ridge and look out over the plain. The wreckage of our ships is scattered below, smoke still drifting. I see no immediate signs of rescue or pursuit. But something about the horizon makes me uneasy. The translator beeped earlier, suggesting there was some incoming signal. Maybe it's still out there, just too faint. She pulls on my sleeve. I turn, and she points to a patch of land that's shimmering with heat waves. Or maybe it's not heat, it could be a force field or some kind of atmospheric anomaly. Her voice quickens. The translator tries to keep up. My people. They come. Not safe for me. For you. I swallow. Your people? You don't want them to find you. She gives me a dark look. The translator crackles with partial words. I disobey. They punish. They kill. My stomach tightens. So she's a fugitive. Great. I rub my temples, trying to process. So if they see us together, I'm as good as dead too. She just nods. Then we keep moving. I decide. She follows me along the ridge, but I can feel her tension. She's scanning every angle, every rock formation, as if expecting to be ambushed. My own nerves are raw. I keep my senses alert. My mind races with questions. What did she do to disobey them? Why were they after her? And how does the bizarre phrase about my pants tie into all of this? By midday, we stumble upon an abandoned outpost. It's half buried in the rocky slope, a structure with metal walls that appear older than either of our ships. Could be from another race entirely. I carefully test the door. It grinds open. Stale air rushes out. We step inside, flashlights scanning the darkness. It's a single chamber with a dusty console, a few crates, and a battered cot. Better than nothing. She closes the door behind us, fiddling with a manual latch until it locks. The space is claustrophobic, but at least it's sealed from the outside. Maybe we can hide here while we figure out our next move. I set my flashlight on the console and begin rummaging through the crates. I find some ancient rations, probably inedible, and a tangle of cables. She paces, her eyes never leaving me for long. I can sense her agitation. I clear my throat. Let's see if we can improve the translator now that we're safe for a bit. She doesn't respond verbally, but she steps closer, curiosity flickering in her gaze. I place the device on the console and begin tinkering with the wiring. She stands at my shoulder, occasionally leaning in to watch. Each time her skin brushes mine, my pulse spikes. I speak into the mic again, carefully enunciating. My name is Cade. I want to help you. We need to survive. We should talk more. The translator whirs, then spits out a better translation for her. Cade. Help. Survive. Talk. She nods, pleased. Then she tries her own language. The device picks up more than before, though it's still glitchy. I am Veari. I was prisoner. I refused forced bond. I fled. My clan hunts me. You taught me your words. We are bonded. I blink. The device interprets. We are bonded, as if it's a matter of fact. No, I say gently. We are not bonded. I just taught you a phrase by accident. It was not intentional. The translator whirs. Accident? You gave me words. That is how bond forms. I exhale. That's not how humans do it. She frowns, frustration etched across her face. She gestures at my waist again. I tense, expecting her to repeat the dreaded line. But the translator picks up. You keep clothing. You denied bond. Why? I rub my temples, searching for a way to explain. On my world, clothing it's personal. We don't remove it for just anyone. Especially not in a situation like this. The translator tries. Clothing is personal. Not for any. Must be trust. Must be special. She cocks her head, as if absorbing the concept. Then her expression shifts. So, you do not trust me. I am not special. I open my mouth, then close it. I barely know you. I say at last. The translator interprets that, and her face darkens. She hisses something in her own tongue, and the device picks up fragments. Your words made me think you claimed me. Then you do not. Confusion. Anger. I sigh, feeling a pang of guilt. It was never my intention to claim you. I was just trying to wake you up, help you. The translator glitched. She shakes her head, pacing away. Her posture is tense, shoulders tight. This is a grave matter. My people kill me for refusing forced bond. You bond me with false words. Now I am outcast. I cannot return. I stare at her, a sinking feeling in my gut. I didn't mean for this to happen. I say softly. I'm sorry. The device translates. She snorts, a sound of derision or heartbreak, I can't tell. A moment of silence stretches between us. Then she spins around, eyes blazing. She stalks toward me, pressing a hand to my chest. Her face is inches from mine. I swallow hard. The translator picks up her whispered phrase. If you do not want me, let me go. If you do, remove your coverings. Complete what you started. My heart hammers. The tension is suffocating. I feel the primal urge to tear away from her, to keep distance, but also the conflicting urge to stay. This is all happening too fast, too chaotically. We don't have to do anything. I manage. We just need to survive, to find a way off this planet. Your people are coming. My people might not even know I'm alive. We should focus on that. She stares, then steps back, crossing her arms. The ridges on her head flare, and she exhales. Fine, she says in her halting English. No bond. Survive. She looks away, her posture rigid. I sense a storm of emotion swirling in her. Anger, confusion, maybe betrayal. And I feel a weird pang of regret, like I've wounded her somehow. But I can't give in to something I barely understand. I get back to work on the translator, ignoring the tremor in my hands. She stands at the console, silent, though her eyes dart over me occasionally. I rummage through the outpost, find an old power cell that might boost the device. If we can get better range, maybe we can intercept signals, or hail someone who can help. I plug it in. Sparks fly, and the translator reboots. A new interface flickers. This might actually work. I open my mouth to say something, but the console beeps. A message scrolls across in an alien script. Veari stiffens. She leans forward, reading it. Then she curses under her breath. The translator picks up enough to say, Warning! Hostiles inbound. They track me. Your people? I ask. She nods grimly. Not my people. My clan hunts me. They want me, or want me dead. I grit my teeth. How many? She points to the text. I see a series of alien glyphs, but the translator is only partially deciphering them. Squad of 5, heavily armed. She murmurs. They have my scent. They know you are with me. My pulse spikes. I check the outpost door, making sure it's locked. We have no real weapons. I have a small sidearm with a few charges left. That's it. She glances at me. Your pants, she says abruptly, but not in that commanding tone. More like an observation. They have pockets. Weapons inside? Yeah, I say, pulling out the sidearm. I have a few charges. That's not going to stop a squad. She bites her lip. Does she have lips? They're parted, revealing those slightly sharp teeth. She thinks quickly, then gestures to the crates. We rummage together, finding scraps of old technology, maybe landmines or sabotage devices left behind by whoever built this outpost. It's all too corroded to rely on. The tension is building again, not just from the imminent threat but from the unresolved friction between us. She moves with restless energy, pacing the small space, occasionally glancing at me. I'm trying to plan an escape route, but the environment outside is harsh, and they'll have tracking gear. Maybe our best bet is to set a trap here. She stops pacing, looks at me with a fierce resolve. We fight. We kill them, or we die. My gut twists. I'd rather avoid a fight. If we can slip away. She cuts me off with a scowl. They will find us. No running. I see the determination in her eyes. This is her fight, a fight for her freedom. And I'm caught in the crossfire. All right, I say, scanning the room. We can rig something at the entrance. Maybe blow the corridor once they're inside. The outpost might collapse, but we can hide behind the console, hope the blast kills them. She nods. Together, we set to work, linking old wires, pulling the power cell from the translator to create a makeshift explosive. It's risky. If we miscalculate, we'll blow ourselves to bits. But it's the only plan I can come up with on short notice. While we work, she keeps shooting me sideways glances. I can't help but wonder if she's still thinking about that damned phrase. I'm definitely still thinking about it, about her. The press of her body against mine last night, the glow of her skin, the faint hum in her voice that seems to resonate in my chest. It's distracting, but we have no time for that now. Finally, we rig the device near the door, set a remote trigger. Then we hide behind a thick support column, side by side, the flickering flashlight illuminating our tense faces. My heart is pounding. She presses closer to me, her breath warm on my cheek. She whispers in her language, the translator quietly interpreting. If we survive, will you teach me the correct words? I swallow. Yes, I whisper back. I'll teach you everything. She smiles, a small, almost sad smile. Then we wait. It doesn't take long. We hear footsteps outside, muffled voices speaking her language. I can't make them out, but Veari tenses. The door rattles. Then a laser cutter starts slicing through the metal. My stomach clenches. I glance at her, see her expression go hard. She's not afraid. She's ready. The door slides open with a groan, revealing the silhouettes of 5 aliens, each wearing a kind of protective suit. One steps in cautiously, scanning with a device. They're speaking in hushed tones. The translator is off, its power cell removed to make our bomb. So I don't know what they're saying, but it's probably not a greeting. They move deeper in, searching behind crates. I wait until they're close enough to the rig power cell. My finger hovers over the trigger. The tension is unbearable. Then the lead alien spots us, raises a weapon. I press the trigger. The explosion is deafening. A blast of heat and light rocks the chamber. The support column shields us from the brunt of it, but the concussion knocks me flat. My ears ring. Smoke fills the air. Through the haze, I see the alien squad thrown off their feet, at least 2 of them not moving. The rest scramble, shouting in panic. Veari leaps up, seizing one of their fallen weapons. She aims, fires a searing bolt of energy that hits another pursuer square in the chest. He drops, shrieking. The last one tries to run for cover. I lurch to my feet, pulling out my sidearm. I take a shaky aim, squeeze off a shot. The charge catches him in the leg, and he goes down hard. Panting, we approach the wounded alien. He's snarling in her language, spitting curses. Veari stands over him, weapon trembling in her hands. She glances at me, a question in her eyes. I realize she's asking if we spare him or finish him. My mind races. He'll come after us if we leave him alive. But do we just execute him? The alien glares at Veari, hisses something. She pales, her ridges flattening. She says softly, "He says I betrayed my clan? I deserve to die." I grit my teeth, leveling my sidearm at his head. He sneers. My finger hovers on the trigger, but something in me resists. Veari steps forward instead, expression unreadable. She fires. The bolt hits him, and his eyes go wide before he slumps. Silence. The outpost is thick with smoke and the stench of ozone. I cough, leaning against the support column. She stands there, shoulders trembling. She's breathing hard, her gaze locked on the carnage. Then she drops the weapon with a clatter. I move to her side, placing a hand on her arm. She looks at me with haunted eyes. "Are you okay?" I ask. She closes her eyes, exhales. The translator is offline, so I can't interpret her words, but I see the tears forming in the corners of her eyes. She opens them again, a fierce glint replacing the tears. She grabs my shirt, pulls me in, and presses her forehead to mine. I sense a million conflicting emotions in her. Relief, sorrow, anger, gratitude. Then she says something softly, her lips brushing my cheek. Without the translator, I can't parse it. But I feel the meaning, she's thanking me, or apologizing, or both. We can't stay here. The structure is compromised, and more might come. I retrieve the translator's remains, see if it's salvageable. It's partially melted. I groan. So much for better communication. She glances at it, then at me. I just shake my head. She nods in understanding. Wordlessly, we gather what little supplies we can, one of the alien rifles, some rations from the dead squad. Then we force the outpost door open again, stepping back into the harsh daylight. We descend the ridge on the opposite side, away from the crash site. I can't be sure if there are more trackers inbound, but we have to keep moving. The planet's surface stretches out, lifeless and desolate. The wind whips at our clothes, well, my clothes, and the jacket she still wears. I glance over at her, noticing the tight set of her jaw, the determined stride. She's just killed her own clan, or at least the ones who came for her. I wonder if she's free now, or if more will come. We walk for hours, silent but for the crunch of gravel underfoot. Eventually, we spot what looks like a rocky canyon. It might provide some shelter. We make our way down, slipping through narrow passages until we reach a small clearing, sheltered by towering stone walls. The wind lessens here. Exhaustion weighs on me, and I see it in her face too. We collapse against the canyon wall, panting. My mind drifts back to the conversation we had before the fight, about the bond, about the mistranslated phrase. Everything is so complicated. But I feel a surge of relief that we're still alive, that we made it through that assault together. There's a strange closeness that forms when you fight side by side, even if you barely know each other. After a few minutes, she shifts closer. Without the translator, we're back to gestures. She points to her chest, says, "They are." Ben points to me. "Cade." Then she taps her head, miming a question, as if asking if I remember. I nod. "I remember," I say softly. She tries a few English words we practiced. "We survive." I smile. "Yes, we survive." She tries another word. "Bond?" My stomach clenches. I shake my head, uncertain how to convey the complexities. "Not yet," I say gently. She looks away, frustration in her features. I can't blame her. Her entire worldview might revolve around the idea that words, once given, are sacred. That once you speak them, you can't just take them back. And from her perspective, I invoke something I never intended. Part of me wonders if I should just give in. But I can't do that lightly, not with all this confusion. And I'm not entirely sure what bond entails in her culture. For all I know, it could be a permanent psychic link, or a vow that can't be broken without dire consequences. We sit there in silence, each lost in our own thoughts, until hunger forces us to open the rations we looted. They're alien bars of compressed protein or something close to it. She eats with grim determination, while I choke down the bitter taste. Then, as the sun sets behind the canyon walls, we lay out the thermal blanket on the ground, a pitiful attempt at comfort. The air grows cold fast, and I feel her scoot closer. I drape the blanket around both of us, and we huddle together. My heart beats a little faster at her proximity. She rests her head on my shoulder, sighing softly. My own breathing is shallow. I can't deny the attraction. Even in the midst of this chaos, maybe because of it, there's a pull between us that's hard to ignore. My rational mind screams that it's too dangerous, too soon, too complicated. But another part of me, the part that's alive to every nuance of her presence, is drawn to her warmth, her exotic beauty, the shared adrenaline of survival. She lifts her face to look at me. Her eyes are luminous in the dim light, reflecting some internal glow. Her lips part, and I brace for her to say that phrase again. But she doesn't. Instead, she leans in slowly, giving me time to pull away if I want to. My body tenses, but I don't move. Her lips brush mine in the gentlest, most tentative way. A spark shoots through me, and for a moment I melt into it. Then reason reasserts itself. I pull back, gently pushing her shoulders. She looks hurt. I can't explain it to her without the translator. I fumble for words, but all I can do is place a hand over my heart, then over hers, trying to convey that this is complicated. She nods slowly, but her eyes reflect disappointment. We drift into a restless sleep, side by side. I dream of her whispering in an alien tongue, the ridges on her head glowing like neon lines. In the dream, she says, "Take off your pants." Again, but this time it's laced with sorrow, as if it's the only phrase she can speak. I wake with a jolt, sweat beading my forehead. She's already awake, crouched by the canyon entrance, scanning the horizon. Her posture is tense. She glances back at me, gestures for me to come. I scramble up, ignoring the ache in my muscles. We climb a small outcropping to get a better view. From there, We can see a wide valley. In the distance, a thin plume of smoke rises. Another ship, maybe? She mutters something, pointing. I shield my eyes from the pale sun, trying to make sense of it. It could be more of her clan, or maybe it's salvageable tech that could help us get off this rock. My instincts say it might be worth checking out. She seems to agree, because she starts descending the canyon wall, motioning for me to follow. It's a long, treacherous climb down. The wind gusts, threatening to knock us off the narrow ledges. My hands are scraped raw by the time we reach the valley floor. The ground here is dusty, dotted with strange spiny plants. We move quickly, keeping low. Neither of us speaks. There's no point without the translator. As we approach the source of the smoke, I see the twisted hull of what might be a small shuttle. It's not from my ship, and it doesn't look like hers either. Another traveler crashed here. Possibly old. We edge closer, guns at the ready. No movement. No sign of life. The hull is charred, likely from a crash or an explosion. We step inside the wreckage. The interior is cramped, half collapsed. I see skeletons, long since picked clean by local scavengers. The stench of decay is gone, replaced by the stale odor of burned metal. Vayari taps my shoulder, points to a console. It's partially intact. If there's power, we might be able to scavenge a battery or something to repair our translator. She rummages through the compartments, finding a small cylindrical device that hums faintly when shaken. I recognize it as a power module, similar to the ones I used in the field. She hands it to me, hope flickering in her eyes. We find a relatively stable section of the hull and sit down, me on a broken seat, her on a chunk of metal. I carefully remove the melted remains of my translator from my belt, hooking the new power module to it. The device sparks. I hold my breath. Then it powers up, flickering. A garbled voice emerges. I tweak some settings, rerouting connections. Gradually, the interface stabilizes. I test it with a short phrase. "Hello, can you hear me?" The translator squeals, then manages to spit out a half-intelligible version in her language. Vayari's face lights up. She speaks back. I watch the screen. Words appear, then a synthesized voice says, "Yes. I hear. This is better." I grin. "We're back in business." She nods. Then her face turns serious. She says something else. The translator picks up. "We must talk. We must settle the bond confusion. I cannot continue like this." My stomach clenches. "All right," I say softly. "Let's talk." She looks me in the eyes. "In my culture, to teach someone a phrase is to share breath. To share breath is to offer a vow. You gave me words. You said take off your pants. This is an intimate command. It means you wanted me to remove your coverings. You claim me, or you want me to claim you. I do not know. But it is a vow nonetheless." I run a hand through my hair, feeling the weight of her words. "I had no idea," I say quietly. "In my culture, we have many phrases. That one is, it can be a joke or a flirtation, or just a random statement. It was never intended as a vow. It was an accident, a glitch in the translator." She listens, expression pained. "But you see how it is for me," she continues. "My people are strict. Words are sacred. If I share them, it is a bond. Now I have shared them with you, and you do not accept it. It leaves me lost." I exhale. "I'm sorry. If I could take it back, I would. But I also can't just pretend it never happened. I don't want you to feel betrayed." She leans forward. "Then do you wish to accept it? To remove your coverings, to seal the bond as we do?" My heart thuds. I swallow. It's not that simple. Humans, we need trust, understanding, emotional connection. Not just a phrase. And I do feel something for you, but I'm afraid it's all tangled in fear and survival. I don't want to use you or mislead you." She nods slowly, her silver eyes shimmering with unshed tears. "I understand. But you must know, my people will never accept me now. I used a sacred vow with an outsider, They will see me as corrupted. If I return, I face execution or forced bonding to someone else. My only chance is to remain with you. But if you do not accept me, I have no place. The weight of her words settles like a rock in my gut. I reach out, taking her hand gently. I won't abandon you, I say. We'll figure this out. Maybe we can find a compromise. But for now, we should focus on getting off this planet. She meets my gaze, a flicker of relief in her eyes. Yes, she murmurs. Survival first. We gather our things, including the newly powered translator. The day is half gone. We decide to use the wrecked shuttle's remains as temporary shelter. There's enough metal plating to patch holes. I find a small generator that might be salvageable. Veari helps me carry it outside. We prop it up on stable ground. With some tinkering, we manage to coax it into providing a faint glow of power to a floodlight. It's not much, but it's better than the pitch-black nights we've been enduring. As the sun sets, we eat again, the same bitter rations. Then we settle in the shuttle's least damaged section, the translator perched nearby so we can talk. She's quiet for a while, watching me. I can't help noticing the graceful line of her shoulders, the way her azure skin gleams in the glow of the floodlight. My thoughts stray to the night we spent pressed together for warmth. There was something undeniably comforting about that closeness. She breaks the silence. Cade, I want to learn more words. Correct words. Please teach me. I nod, eager for any normalcy. We start with basics. Food, sleep, danger, friend. She repeats them carefully, her accent softening. It's oddly intimate, this process. Our voices mingle in the quiet night, bridging the gap between our species. Eventually, we circle back to the phrase that started it all. She looks at me, uncertain. Take off your pants, she says in English, enunciating each word carefully. I flinch. She frowns. It is taboo, yes? I shake my head. Not taboo, it's usually said in a joking or flirtatious way. It implies intimacy, that someone wants to see another person naked. In my culture, that's very personal. She tilts her head. So to speak it first, is like forcing intimacy? I grimace. In a way, yes. Or at least strongly suggesting it. She sighs. Then I see why you are uneasy. But in my culture, a vow is sealed by words. The words you gave me were not mere suggestions. They implied a bond. I fear there is no easy way to undo that. I swallow. We'll figure it out. I repeat. She nods, but her eyes hold lingering sadness. The translator crackles again as she says, Your people, do they also treat words as sacred? I think about it. Some do, in certain contexts. We have vows like marriage. But we also have casual phrases that mean nothing. It's complicated. She exhales. We are from different worlds, different ways. Yet we are here, forced together. My body, it reacts to you. I cannot hide that. Even now I feel your warmth, your scent. I feel a pull. My cheeks heat. I feel something too, I admit. But it's wrapped up in fear, confusion, and the knowledge that we might die at any moment on this rock. She shifts closer. I do not want to force you, she says softly, the translator echoing her words in that synthetic voice. But I also cannot deny my instincts. When you taught me those words, it triggered something in me. A kind of recognition that we might be bound. I want to see it through. But only if you want it too. My heart hammers. She's so close I can feel her breath on my face. 1,000 thoughts swirl in my mind. The memory of how she looked at me in the lab, how she pinned me against the wall, the raw adrenaline of battle, the closeness we shared in the canyon. I feel the primal tug of attraction, as strong as gravity. I swallow hard. Maybe we need to find a middle ground, I say quietly. She arches a brow. What do you mean? I tug at the translator's mic, turning it off so we can speak without the disembodied voice. She watches me, confusion etched in her features. I lean in, pressing my forehead to hers, just as she did after the fight. She draws a sharp breath. Our eyes lock. I can't pretend I don't feel something, I murmur. But I need time. I need to understand you, and I want you to understand me. She closes her eyes, nodding, a faint tremor in her body. Slowly, tentatively, I brush my lips against hers. It's not the desperate crash of bodies. It's a quiet, searching kiss. She makes a soft sound, her hand coming up to cup my cheek. I taste the faint salt of tears, or maybe that's just my own sweat. For a moment, the world falls away. There's no crash site, no clan hunting us, no confusion. Just the electric warmth of her mouth, the press of her body. Then she pulls back, breath ragged, eyes shining with something akin to hope. Kate, she whispers, and I don't need the translator to feel the emotion in that single word. We don't push it further. The moment is enough to confirm that yes, there's something real here, but we're not ready to seal it with the vow that her culture demands. Instead, we drift to a restless sleep, side by side in the wrecked shuttle, hearts still pounding from that small taste of intimacy. The next day dawns with an eerie stillness. I check the shuttle's systems, hoping to find a functioning distress beacon. Nothing. The hull is too damaged. We scavenge what we can, small rations, tools, a half-working med kit. Then we set out again. We have to keep moving, find a way to either signal for rescue or at least reach a safer zone. The radiation levels are climbing. My skin itches, a sign of mild exposure. Veari's alien physiology might handle it better, but I doubt it's harmless for her. We trek across a cracked plain, the ground shifting under our feet. Dust devils swirl in the distance. The translator is strapped to my side, occasionally picking up her murmured comments about the terrain. She's scanning the horizon, on high alert. I realize that a part of me admires her warrior spirit. She's been through so much, yet she stands tall, unwavering. By midday, we spot something unusual, a tall spire of rock that seems to have been artificially shaped. Curious, we head for it. As we draw closer, we see faint carvings in the stone. Could be an ancient ruin. Maybe it holds a hidden chamber, or maybe it's just a relic of a long-dead civilization. Either way, it's worth investigating if it offers shelter. We circle the spire, finding a narrow opening at its base. Inside, the air is cooler, and the walls are lined with faint, glowing patterns that remind me of the ridges on Veari's scalp. She seems mesmerized by them, reaching out to trace a finger along the glowing lines. I do the same, feeling a slight hum under my fingertips. We move deeper into the spire, the corridor sloping downward. The glow intensifies, illuminating our path. After a few minutes, we emerge into a wide chamber. My jaw drops. The entire space is filled with crystalline formations that pulse with shifting colors: blue, violet, green. The translator picks up Veari's whispered exclamation. "This is my people's ancient site. We believe them myths." My heart leaps. Does that mean there might be technology here we can use? Something to call for help or shield us from radiation? She closes her eyes, inhaling deeply. Possibly. We should look. We explore the chamber, stepping carefully among the crystals. Each step echoes in the silence. There's a dais at the center, etched with intricate symbols. Veari kneels, running her hands over them. I notice how the lines seem to resonate with her touch, brightening under her fingertips. A faint hum fills the air. My hair stands on end. Something powerful is here. She gestures for me to join her. I step onto the dais, feeling a tingling sensation in my boots. The crystals around us brighten, forming a ring of light. She speaks softly in her language, the translator catching snippets. Ancestral call, energy, door? My pulse quickens. A door to where? Suddenly, a column of light erupts from the center of the dais, swirling around us. I shield my eyes, heart pounding. Veari stands tall, her ridges flaring with an answering glow. Then, as abruptly as it began, the light subsides. A faint shape materializes in the air above the dais, a holographic interface, maybe. I can't read the alien symbols, but I recognize patterns that might indicate controls or options. Veari reaches out, tentatively touching one of the floating glyphs. It ripples. The translator picks up a faint voice, too distorted to parse. She frowns, tries another glyph. Suddenly, the entire chamber trembles, and the crystals flare brighter. She gasps, stumbling back. I catch her, steadying her. What did you do? I whisper. She shakes her head. I do not know. I was trying to see if there is a shield or a beacon. We look up. The glyphs spin faster, the hum intensifies. My ears pop from the pressure change. A swirling vortex of light appears near the ceiling. Dust rains down from above. I realize this might be some sort of teleportation or energy funnel, and it's going out of control. Shut it off, I yell. She tries frantically pressing other glyphs. The translator picks up her panicked muttering. Stop, close, revert. The vortex shrinks, sputters, then stabilizes into a glowing orb. We both hold our breath. The orb descends slowly, stopping a few feet above the dais. Then it pulses once, releasing a wave of energy that ripples through the chamber. My body tingles, but it doesn't hurt. When the wave subsides, the orb floats quietly, as if waiting. Veari and I exchange a glance. She reaches out again, more cautiously this time. Her fingertips brush the orb. A soft chime resonates, and the translator flares to life. A new voice speaks, calm and melodic. Identify your request. My eyes widen. Did that come from the orb? Veari nods, equally startled. She speaks in her language, and the orb replies, though I can't understand. Then the translator picks up the orb's words. You seek refuge from the outside. State your claim. Provide the vow. I freeze. The vow. That word again. Veari's expression tightens. She looks at me, uncertain. Then she murmurs to the orb. The translator relays. We require safe passage, protection from radiation, from pursuers. We are outcasts, but we request sanctuary. The orb pulses. Sanctuary requires a bonded vow. Are you bonded? My stomach twists. Veari's cheeks flush a deeper blue. She glances at me, then back at the orb. We are uncertain. The orb dims. Sanctuary is only granted to those who share breath, who speak the vow as one. My heart thuds. So this ancient site is apparently locked behind some cultural tradition that demands a formal bond. Veari turns to me, eyes filled with desperation. This might be our only chance, she says softly, the translator echoing her plea. We must do it, or we die out there. My mind reels. This vow is more than just words. It's a permanent link in her culture, or at least a serious commitment. But the alternative might be certain death. We're out of options. I feel the weight of it all, the fear, the attraction, the swirl of emotions I've been wrestling with. Maybe it's time to stop resisting. The bond might have been accidental at first, but maybe there's something real here, forged in the heat of survival. I meet her gaze. She steps closer, her voice trembling. I do not want to force you, she says again. But if we do not do this, the orb will not open. We remain vulnerable. I take a shaky breath. If we do this, is it forever? She bites her lip. It is not easily undone, but it can be if both agree. Yet in my culture, we rarely break a vow. I nod slowly. I understand. Let's do it. Relief floods her features. She turns to the orb, speaks in her language. The orb glows brighter. Then it asks, Does your mate consent? She looks at me. I step forward, placing my hand over hers, both of us touching the orb. Yes, I say. My voice echoes in the chamber. I consent. The translator picks up my words in her language, broadcasting them. The orb chimes again, radiating warmth. Veari presses closer, sliding her free arm around my waist. My heart pounds. I realize I'm about to complete a vow that, in her culture, is akin to the words we first fumbled with. She looks up at me, her eyes shimmering. Speak them, she whispers. Speak the vow properly. I nod, swallowing hard. I try to formulate the vow in a way that merges our languages. The translator helps me, but I choose the words carefully. I, Cade, share my breath and my words with you, Veari. I vow to stand beside you, protect you, and accept your protection in turn. We are bonded by choice, not by accident. She listens, tears glistening at the corners of her eyes. Then she repeats in her language, and the translator provides an echo in English. I, Veari, share my breath and my words with you, Cade. I vow to stand beside you, protect you, and accept your protection in turn. We are bonded by choice, not by accident. The orb flares, sending a final wave of energy through the chamber. The dais trembles beneath our feet. I cling to her, half expecting the ceiling to collapse. But instead, a shimmering field envelopes us, gentle and warm. Then it expands, covering the entire chamber. I feel a sense of peace, like the ambient radiation is being filtered out. The orb drifts upward, lodging itself into a recess in the ceiling, and the humming fades to a soft background throb. I look at Veari stunned. She meets my gaze, and we share a moment of disbelief. We did it. Whatever ancient technology this is, it recognized our vow and granted us sanctuary. We're safe, at least for now. The translator picks up a final statement from the orb. Sanctuary established. You are recognized as bonded. Remain in peace. A rush of emotion hits me. I realize that in the eyes of this ancient system, and in the eyes of her culture, we're now something akin to married. The weight of it should terrify me, but instead, I feel a strange sense of rightness. I look at her, noticing the subtle shift in her posture. She seems relieved, but also shy, uncertain. I remember her first words in that lab, the way she demanded I remove my pants. Now the phrase takes on a different significance, laced with all the confusion and tension we've shared. She steps closer, sliding her hands up my arms, searching my face. We are bonded, she says softly. Now I ask again, but not from confusion. I ask because I want this. My heart thuds. You mean? She presses her forehead to mine. Take off your pants, she whispers, this time with a faint smile, a gentle tease. I let out a shaky laugh, feeling the heat rise in my cheeks. I place a hand against her cheek, leaning in to kiss her softly. This time, there's no panic, no confusion, just a slow burn of desire and acceptance. She returns the kiss with equal fervor, her hands tugging at my shirt, my gear. I help her, unzipping the jacket she borrowed, letting it fall. Her azure skin gleams in the shimmering light. I can't deny the attraction anymore, and I don't want to. I shed my shirt, boots, and yes, finally, my pants. She laughs softly, a throaty sound of triumph and relief. My heart hammers as we press together, skin on skin, a dizzying rush of warmth. The ancient chamber around us glows in harmony with our movements, as if responding to our bond. Her lips find my neck, my shoulder. I cup her face, kiss her deeply, losing myself in the moment. The vow we spoke might have been forced by circumstance, but in this instant, it feels right. We cling to each other, letting the tension of the past days unwind in a fevered tangle of limbs and breath. I'm not sure how long we stay like that, pressed against each other in the glow of the crystals, but eventually, we sink to the dais, hearts pounding, sharing the kind of intimacy that only comes from surviving together, from forging a bond in fire. When the moment ebbs, we lie there, breathing in sync. Her ridges pulse gently, a soft luminescence that plays across her features. I brush a strand of hair, no, not hair, but a ridge or crest, away from her face, and she leans into my touch. Cade, she whispers. I feel you in me. The translator picks up her words, but the meaning goes deeper than the literal sense. I nod, pressing my forehead to hers. I feel you too, I murmur. We eventually pull ourselves upright, gathering our scattered clothes. There's a new energy in the air between us, less tense, more assured. We share shy smiles, the weight of the vow now settled into something that feels like relief. She rests her head on my shoulder, and I wrap an arm around her. We're in this together, truly. The orb remains lodged in the ceiling, casting a protective field. I sense the radiation outside is still lethal, but in here, we're safe. We spend the next few hours exploring the chamber, discovering small alcoves and a trickle of water that seeps from a fissure in the rock. We can survive here for a time. Maybe forever if we have to. But I sense we'll want more than just hiding. We want a life beyond these walls. We find a hidden console in one alcove, presumably for controlling the spire's functions. Vayari manages to coax it to display a star chart. It's ancient, but we might be able to calibrate it to find a route off the planet. Or at least broadcast a signal. We set to work, side by side, speaking softly, exchanging words in both languages. The translator helps, but more and more, we're learning to read each other's gestures, tones, expressions. Our bond is no longer just forced or accidental. It's something we're building, piece by piece. After hours of tinkering, we manage to send out a pulse that might reach passing ships. It's a gamble. If it's her clan that receives it, we'll have to fight again. But maybe we'll reach someone else. I glance at her as the console hums, sending out its beacon. She looks back at me, determination in her eyes. Whatever happens, she says, we face it together. I squeeze her hand, nodding. We spend the night curled up in one of the alcoves, using some stored blankets we found. The hum of the spire lulls us to a fitful sleep. At one point, I wake to see her watching me, a soft smile curving her lips. I murmur her name, and she leans down to kiss me, a sweet, lingering kiss that banishes the nightmares. We drift back into slumber. Morning, or what passes for morning here, brings a new challenge. The console beeps, indicating a response to our signal. We scramble to check the readout. A line of alien text scrolls by, partially translated. Identify. Unregistered beacon. Surrender or be destroyed. My stomach lurches. It's not exactly a friendly greeting. Vayari's lips thin. My clan, she mutters. We have a choice. Answer them and risk another fight, or shut down the beacon and remain hidden. But the spire's protective field might not hold against a full assault if they decide to bomb us from orbit. We weigh our options quickly. Hiding forever isn't viable. The radiation outside might eventually seep in, or we'll run out of supplies. Vayari sets her jaw. I will speak to them, she says. I will tell them we are bonded under the ancient vow. That might make them hesitate. My pulse pounds. Are you sure? She nods, flicking on the calm channel. She speaks in her language, voice strong. I catch references to the vow, the spire, the sanctuary. The translator picks up bits. We have invoked the ancestral right. Harm us, and you defile your own tradition. We wait, breath bated. The line crackles. Then a cold voice replies, too fast for me to follow. The translator picks up some fragments. Traitor, worthless vow, come out. Vayari's shoulders slump. They do not care about tradition anymore, she says. They want me dead for my disobedience. I swallow. Then we fight. We scramble to gather weapons. We only have the alien rifle, my sidearm, and the environment of the spire. The protective field might shield us from direct bombardment, but if they land and come in force, we're in trouble. I look at Vayari. If it comes to it, we can flee deeper into the spire. Maybe there's another passage, an underground route. She nods, eyes fierce. We hear a rumble overhead, the sound of a ship descending. The spire trembles. The orb in the ceiling glows, as if sensing the threat. We hurry to the main chamber. The overhead stone resonates with the hum of engines. A voice booms through the calm. Come out! No sanctuary for traitors. Vayari sets her jaw. Never, she hisses. She turns to me, eyes blazing. If we must die, we die together. My chest tightens, but I nod. Together. An impact shakes the spire. Dust falls from the ceiling. Then silence. They must have landed. We brace ourselves for an assault. The spire's door, if there even is one, is somewhere above us. I check the console, see a faint reading that indicates a breach in the outer corridor. They're coming. Vayari and I take positions behind a crystal formation. I hold the rifle, she grips the sidearm. My mind is racing with possible strategies. If they come in single file, we might pick them off. But they probably have better gear, maybe energy shields. Another tremor. Footsteps echo from a corridor. Then a flash of light as a cutting beam slices through the stone. The orb above us pulses, as if reacting. A shimmering barrier flickers into place around the chamber entrance. The clan soldiers appear, 4 of them, all armed. They fire at the barrier. Sparks fly, but it holds. Veari leans around the crystal, aiming. She fires a bolt that crackles through the barrier from our side, striking one soldier. He collapses with a shriek. The others scatter, returning fire. Their bolts slam into the barrier. One soldier tosses a device that attaches to the stone. It begins to whir, sending out pulses that disrupt the barrier. I feel the energy field falter. My stomach clenches. I gesture for Veari to move. She darts behind another crystal. The soldiers push forward, stepping through the flickering barrier. I pop up, fire the rifle. The shot catches one soldier in the arm. He staggers back. Another soldier rushes me, brandishing a blade that crackles with energy. I block with the rifle, the blade slicing the barrel in half. Sparks fly. I reel back, dropping the useless weapon. The soldier swings again. I duck, narrowly avoiding a blow that would have taken my head off. Veari leaps from behind a crystal, sidearm blazing. She hits the soldier in the back, and he goes down. A third soldier rushes her. She spins, but he's faster, knocking the sidearm from her grip. They grapple, exchanging vicious blows. I scramble for the soldier's dropped blade, snatch it up, and charge. The soldier sees me coming, tries to dodge, but I slash across his back. He roars, spinning to retaliate, only for Veari to land a kick to his face. He collapses. A hiss behind me. I whirl to see the final soldier leveling a large rifle at my chest. My stomach drops. Before he can fire, Veari slams into him from the side. The shot goes wide, scorching the crystal behind me. The soldier stumbles, tries to raise his weapon again, but she wrests it from his grasp, hooking an arm around his neck. He thrashes, hissing in their language. She hesitates for a fraction of a second, then breaks his neck with a swift twist. The body crumples to the floor. Silence, except for our ragged breathing. The barrier flickers and stabilizes again. Smoke and the smell of burnt ozone hang in the air. We stand amidst the fallen soldiers, hearts pounding. Veari checks them for signs of life. None. She straightens, turning to me with a mix of relief and sorrow in her eyes. It is done, she says softly. They will send more, or they will give up. I look around, adrenaline still surging. They might send more, I say grimly. She nods, shoulders slumping. We cannot stay. They will bombard us from orbit eventually, vow or no vow. I glance at the orb. We have the star chart, the console. Maybe we can use the spire's power to open a portal or send a stronger distress call. Something that can get us out of here. We hurry to the console, ignoring our fatigue and the bodies behind us. Veari works the glyphs, trying to access advanced functions. The orb pulses overhead, as if straining under our demands. The translator picks up bits of the system's messages. Exodus route, partial coordinates, uncertain. I help her cross-reference the star chart we found. The console flickers, displays a swirling pattern of lines. It might be a route to a stable wormhole or a gate. But do we dare try to activate it? We hear a rumble from above, possibly the clan's ship taking off. They might be preparing an aerial strike. We have no time. Do it, I urge her. Whatever it is, we have to try. She nods, pressing a final glyph. The orb flares so brightly I have to shield my eyes. A deep hum resonates through the spire, building and building until my teeth rattle. Then the floor under us glows, a ring of symbols lighting up. The translator crackles. Wormhole transit, stand within the circle. We scramble into the circle, hearts hammering. The orb's light engulfs us. For a moment, I feel weightless, as if the floor disappears. Veari clutches my hand, her eyes wide. There's a rushing sound, like a gale-force wind, and then darkness. I gasp, disoriented, trying to hold on to her. My body feels like it's being stretched in every direction. Then, just as suddenly, it stops. We land on a solid surface with a thud. My knees buckle. I open my eyes, blinking to clear the stars from my vision. We're in a different chamber, or maybe a different world. The air is warmer, the light gentler. I hear faint mechanical hums, see metallic walls that look more modern than the ancient spire. Veari groans, pushing herself up. We exchange a stunned glance. A door slides open, revealing a tall figure with broad shoulders, clad in a uniform I don't recognize. He holds a weapon, eyes wide in shock at our sudden appearance. We tense, ready to fight if we must. Then he lowers the weapon, confusion etched across his features. He speaks a language that the translator struggles to interpret, but we catch fragments. Who are you? How did you get here? I lift my hands in a gesture of peace. Veari stands beside me, her ridges still flared from adrenaline. I clear my throat, hoping the translator can convey enough. We come in peace. Our ship crashed. We used an ancient gateway. We need help. The man stares, then nods slowly. You're in the Oron station. We can help, but you'll have to explain a lot. Relief floods me. I turn to Veari, and she meets my gaze with a trembling smile. We're safe. We escaped the clan, the radiation, the crash. Maybe we're not out of danger entirely, but we have a chance. A chance to build a life beyond that desolate planet. I slip my hand into hers, and she squeezes it, a silent reminder of our vow. Whatever happens next, we face it together. Days pass. The Oron station medics treat our wounds and radiation exposure. They question us endlessly, but they're not hostile. We share what we can, carefully omitting details that might endanger Veari further. She recovers quickly, her alien physiology adapting well. I'm slower to heal, but she stays by my side, holding my hand when the doctors administer treatments. At night, in the small quarters they assign us, we talk through the translator about our future. She confesses that she never imagined bonding with a human, that she'd always been told it was taboo. I tell her that I never expected to find love in the midst of a crash and a war with an alien clan. Yet here we are. We share gentle kisses, quiet laughter. We sleep curled up together, no longer weighed down by confusion. One evening, as we're lying in bed, the translator near our pillows, she gives me a playful nudge. Kate, she says, a teasing light in her eyes. Yes? I reply, turning to face her. She grins, voice dropping to a sultry whisper. Take off your pants. My heart skips. Then I laugh, pulling her close, marveling at how those once terrifying words have become a tender joke, a symbol of our strange, beautiful journey. She kisses me, and I taste the promise of everything we've overcome, everything we still have yet to discover. The vow we share is no longer an accident or a burden. It's ours, forged in chaos and sealed in mutual understanding. And as I shed the last of my barriers, literal and metaphorical, I realize that in a universe of infinite possibilities, we found each other through a mistranslated phrase that started it all. We fall asleep in each other's arms, no longer haunted by the ghosts of her clan or the crash. Our bond is tested and proven. When morning comes, we'll step out of these quarters, ready to face whatever the Oron station or the galaxy beyond has in store. But for now, in the quiet hush of this room, the only words that matter are the ones we whisper against each other's lips, full of warmth, devotion, and a promise that we are no longer alone.